is the foreign faculty and the students exchange. It's also the chance the local and international university, particularly young generation, for young people. Thank you very much.
Right. So do we have any questions for our speaker? Please.
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction about RCDF again. And in terms of this conference is focused on K-12 schools. And I'm wondering what is the future possibility that ICDF can provide, or you are thinking about how K-12 schools can help to contribute more international collaboration in terms of, because obviously we have seen so many projects actually that K-12 schools can do. So I'm looking forward to your comments and maybe for future possibility. Thank you.
We agree with when I come here this morning and discuss the principle in terms of the research from the primary and secondary aspect. We also have a big potential space for collaboration. So I promise further discuss the possibility in terms of your school. So, from ICDF, we have there's a chance. We also have a strong willingness to cooperate.
Okay, somebody else wants more money from the other. Okay, do we have any more questions? Okay, please.
I just checked the website about the overseas volunteer clubs, and in your association is about 6 months or 1 year. So is it possible that if we, because right now more and more high school students, they have like the overseas volunteer program. So if we like to have form 1 month to foreign countries to have the volunteer program, so your association can help us to arrange it. Is that possible?
Here's the answer for you. You know, the high school students, that's a job from the Ministry of Education. When after graduate, particularly with master's degree, we highly welcome join the ICDF program. You know, the ICDF volunteer is the more than 1 year, in general 2 years. For high school students, that's very convenient. Sorry.
I think you provide training program.
The training program for the
But also for domestic.
yes, we have the children 1 week of the 5 days for the local students. Okay.
So, how much longer do I need to keep him here? No? He can go, right? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I have a job to keep another person here. Great. Thank you. Okay. Can we give him some big hands again? Right. Thank you very much. Right, okay. So my job continues. And I have to introduce somebody. Actually, I do not know. But I hope after today we'll become good friends. Okay? So I have to read from this introduction. This is Dr. John, I don't know how to pronounce properly your surname. Mergendollar? Mergendollar. Ah, good. Okay, so he's the executive director of Buck Institute for Education. All right, and I noticed that before he became the executive director in year 2000, he was the research director of the same institute. I don't know whether you know, there's a Chinese saying that when you do research really well, you become an executive person. Yeah? 学而优则仕, right? Okay? Which means that you prove your capacities in both research and administration. So we are really honored to have John. It might be easier for us, right? To have John here. And you know, now the world is undergoing some kind of economic depression again. And so we welcome everything about gold. And he's going to talk to us about a gold standard of problem-based learning. And I think you share the same enthusiasm with me to learn from him. So I'll give the time to John, right?
Ni hao. Good morning. What a wonderful introduction. Thank you. And I'm just so honored to be here. And the first thing that I want to say to you, maybe I don't talk long, I'll get it. One clicker. Is thank you. Thank you so much, Shishi, for inviting me, for listening to me, for not being out in the beautiful sun. And I want to express my appreciation to Nanjing University, to the distinguished speakers who preceded me, and I hope that this is a worthwhile experience for you. In the United States, we worked last year with about 12,000 teachers. And our goal is to help them become better teachers, to help them learn a method we call project-based learning. And I'm going to talk some about project-based learning today, the gold standard, as we call it. I'm going to try and look at it from the lens of global education, hoping that that will be useful to you. And then I'm going to respond to your questions about how perhaps you can use project-based learning in your own class. But before I begin, would everyone please stand up and go like this? Come on, we've all been sitting. Let's get up. Come on. Great. I don't. That's enough. That's enough. Well, that was an introduction to the first slide. This is an American high school graduate. and he's pretty excited. Just graduated, he's doing high fives to everybody. And we look at him and we say, glad you made it. We're looking forward to the world that you're going to enter. But we also ask ourselves, what did we want you to get out of school? What was the purpose of going to school? And one of those purposes, I think, especially among this group, is global confidence. Being a global citizen. Understanding other cultures and other people. And I want to give my thanks to the Asia Society, who has thought a great deal and written a great deal about global confidence. And I'm going to borrow some of their ideas today. What's the first part of global confidence and just general competence from graduating from high school? First, you want a student who understands their local world, understands the global world, and understands the importance of their culture and your culture and someone else's culture. Someone with respect for other people, other places, other cultures, and the curiosity to wonder why they're different. How come everybody doesn't walk and talk and speak and think and look like me? Why is that? So one thing we want for our graduates is that they understand and they're curious and they want to know about the world and that they want to know about other people. I'd say the second thing we want from our graduate, from our fellow, is that he knows how to think. And he wants to investigate. And he wants to weigh perspectives, to think about your ideas and how they fit with my ideas, and where they're different and where they're similar, and how we can continue to think with each other and bridge the gap and draw conclusions that make sense and are based on reason rather than emotion or prejudice or what my parents told me. What really makes sense? And finally, we want somebody who can act. Can act like a global citizen, not somebody who lives in California and only thinks about California or the United States, or someone who lives in Taipei and only thinks about Taiwan. We want someone who thinks themselves a citizen of the world. And what I do 10,000 miles away in California tomorrow may make a difference to what happens in your world, because we're all interconnected. And the pollution I put into my air comes over and inhabits your air. So we want people who think of themselves as global citizens and who want to make a difference. As Iron says, make a difference in the world. Learn with the world, not about the world. And finally, I think we want someone who does this over time. Who didn't cram for the global citizen exam. Who realizes that this is a lifelong thing. This is going to keep coming back. The decisions I make today will lead to the decisions I make the day after today, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. So it's a lifelong pursuit to be a responsible global citizen. But I'm not sure our schools are set up to do that. So many times, our schools focus on the transmission of information with an expert, sort of like me, standing out in front of people who really should be
developing their own ideas rather than listening to mine. And so my question to myself and the organization that I lead is, how can we make classrooms that develop global competence, that develop students who think for themselves, who can make reasoned arguments, who can listen to your ideas and respond to them? How can we switch this transmission of information model to a model which has people working together to accomplish mutual goals, which has opportunities to learn not just from the expert, but from each other? Because if we don't, this is what we get. Bored kids. Kids that don't want to be there, that aren't putting themselves out to learn and accomplish. Kids that may be able to pass the test, but may not pass the more important tests they're going to face in their life. Well, there's no silver bullet that's going to magically turn around schools. This is clearly a long process. You walk from country to country, to classroom to classroom, they all look more or less the same. You still have the teacher up there talking to a bunch of students looking at you. But what if classrooms were different? What if classrooms focused on kids working together on projects?